And we are live. Hey guys, welcome to Crypto Talk Now with Max and Larry. We're so happy that you're here joining us on this Tuesday here. This is actually our 16th episode in a row. We have a good show for you today, and we have some other things that are lined up later on in the week. And before we jump into today's show, let's all say hello to Max. Max, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Larry. Glad to be on as usual. And we have a few topics that we're going to cover. I think it's going to be a great show. And I will go ahead and state this that I did take a more deeper look into B Rise, aka BitGert. So I'm looking forward to go over that with you and everybody else.
All right, cool. All right. Well, there's a lot of different things going on. Obviously, the market has been in some rough shape. Let's jump over to the screen and take a look at the overall market here. I'm going to click on share screen and get it working. I had a little bit of technical trouble once again. That's why I was running a little bit behind schedule here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now and jump over here and then hit the crypto bubbles button that I have over on my handy dandy stream deck. And you can see here, the big question is, we'll play a little bit of the guessing game in a minute, but the big question is, I'm wondering why Luna is down so much. I know it was down yesterday, and it looks like it really hasn't recovered. Have you heard anything about what is going on with Luna, Max, or are you just kind of curious like I am?
I am curious. I did see a few top influencers, cover that. I didn't have a chance to listen through it out or through it all to see what the reason why it's so far down. It literally has taken like a straight shot nosedive, right? But
Yeah.
I don't honestly know the reason. I'll have to look more into that for myself.
And while we're just talking here about the overall market, let's just give a warm welcome to some of our favorites that keep showing up time and time again. One of those being Absolute Crypto. He says, "What's up, guys? Glad you could join us." We've got Legal Alien says, "What's up, Max and Larry?" Legal Alien, glad you got a chance to stop by here. I know you're busy making your own content. Something with Faltron out of Saitama. I did see that really quickly. That was pretty interesting. We're going to get into a little bit of my fire up session. I think maybe Max might be fired up about something too, but we'll get into that in a second.
I'm fired up, but I also want to say hello to our audience as well. Legal Alien, um, Absolute Crypto, everybody else who just joined in. Thanks, guys. We always appreciate your support. Also realize you got a show coming up too, Legal, so we understand. Kingsman, hello, everybody.
Oh, Kingsman just dropped on. Hey, Kingsman, how's it going? So, we've got a lot of things to talk about. Overall, I guess I'll just give the answer. I think you probably figured it out from Twitter. It looks like there's another guest here. Okay, hi, Max and Larry. We're going to talk about something special that we just did for the channel.
That's my best friend. That's my best friend, Mike. He's the one who hooked me up with a green screen that I don't happen to have hooked up right now.
Oh, cool. Well,
But
welcome, Mike. We're
yeah,
glad you can join us. And anybody that's a friend of Max is a friend of mine. So also we've got Common Sense says, "What a day." So happy you could join us. Guys, I think I want to hand out some wrenches, but the only reason why I have, and I have to watch a video on how to do it because I know the wrenches, I think, are something to do with, becoming a mod or something like that, but I don't know how to enable that, and I'll have to figure that out. Let's see here. We've got also Kingsman says, "Hey, Common Sense, welcome." It seems like, what is this right here? Oh, my Phantom family. Yeah. Yeah. It seems like everybody that comes in here is invested in Phantom. We'll get into that in a second here. So, Hex has done well. They were on the show last night. If you guys didn't see the show with Hex, it was episode number 15. Go ahead and back and watch that. There are some interesting things on Hex if you want to learn more about that. But today I've kind of spoiled it. There is no guessing game because I kind of came out on Twitter. You probably saw that post, Max.
oh, there's gonna be a guessing game.
Oh, okay.
There's definitely gonna be a guessing game, but this time I'm gonna flip the script on you, Larry. All
Okay.
right. So it's not top 100. I'll give you a clue. You're gonna be guessing for me. Okay.
Okay. Good. Good.
Yeah, yeah. How about that? So, yeah. Whoa, Max is throwing it, Larry, a curveball, huh? Yeah,
Yeah, you did.
absolutely. So, I'll give you a clue. It isn't top 100. It's not even top 500. So it's not gonna show up on the crypto bubbles. It's like in the top 1200.
Top
So
1,200.
Can you take a guess on what I
Oh
just got? And I
boy.
got a pretty decent sized bag on it. Again, guys, not financial advice, but let's see if Larry can guess.
That's like, not having crypto bubbles is like swimming in the ocean and not being able to swim and not having a life preserver. So
Like
the
that
crypto
annoying
bubbles are not going to
song.
help me on this one. Top
Uh,
1200.
top
Oh,
1200.
okay. Wow. It's probably,
Come on,
let me
man.
just
How
give
well do
some
you know
clues.
me? How well do
It's
you know me?
prob
Come on.
Yeah, it's probably, is it Clearpool?
It's Clearpool, man. You got it.
Oh, oh,
Yep, it
wow.
is
I
Clearpool.
actually guessed it.
I couldn't
Oh,
pass on it because what happened is I saw that the market was starting to get a little green, and I was like, "Oh no, the price that I want to get it for might go away." So, at the end of the day, yes, it was Clearpool. If you want to pull up the price on that, I just pulled it
sure.
up. So I got mine for a little below 8 cents. So it's like I don't know, slightly under 8 cents, kind of like what you see right now. So like 0.0799, and I went ahead and got about like 3,800 of them. So,
Well, that's cool. We're
so I
waiting for more.
basically doubled my position, right?
We're
Anyway,
just well, with our favorites, we're just waiting for them to drop because you almost don't mind because it's kind of like buying on a Black Friday sale. You get things that you really want.
I couldn't pass up on it because the way I looked at it was the initial DAO offering, or some people call it the ICO, but in reality, they call it the initial DAO offering. So on that like pre-sale, if you will, right, private sale, Clearpool is 4 cents. So I'm getting roughly 4 cents above that. I just couldn't pass up on that. So anyway,
That's really cool. We've got something special to announce. So part of the technical problems I had, well, one of them was the screen, and I couldn't get the other screen set up. But in addition to that, I had trouble. I've been trying to set up the membership to this channel, the membership feature where you see right next to the subscribe button, it says join. I couldn't get that set up right. Apparently, I didn't take the next step and make a promo video and announce it on the community. So I went and did that. I thought all this time I was just waiting for approval from YouTube. So I went in there today, and Max and I made a funny little video if you guys want to check it out. But I will make this announcement here. There is no members of the channel because I just enabled it. So if anybody wants to make history and become a member of this channel of Crypto Talk Now, when you come and join during this live stream, it benefits both myself and Max because we share in that revenue. So if anybody would like to join the channel and make history, because someday, there's 5 people in here right now, but if everything goes according to plan, there'll be 500 people. And so if anybody wants to make history and join it, that would be really cool. You'd be the first one ever. So,
right. And there's not going to be any like, big shock in the future and something like say a year or two from now where it's like, oh my gosh, they changed the show completely. Come on here. And all you hear is, welcome to Crypto Talk Now. This is Maximus reporter. No, it won't be like that. It will be the same format, having a good time, reaching out to the community, all that good stuff.
it's been funny. I've been getting, messages, I should say, not messages, but emails. Like I said, I get, 1, 2, 3, 4 a day asking to review projects or, to talk about it on the stream. And I'd rather have people come on from the community or devs come on. So I've been also, I think Max and I will be fair to say we've been a little bit more picky about who comes on, but we really want people to come on from this community. We want it to be an army of crypto talkers. I guess it's the Crypto Talk army going out into the communities or, talking to people on Twitter, Telegram, and letting us know, holy cow, look at that. I had a funny feeling it was going to be Common Sense. Congratulations and thank you to Common Sense has become our first member. And, that's really appropriate because he's here like every day supporting us and messaging me a couple times on Twitter. Really appreciate the support.
Yeah,
And
appreciate that Common Sense from me as well. And who knows, maybe we can get you like one of those wrenches or something.
yeah, we're going to figure that out. I got to talk to Max and Johan. We'll figure it out the two of them will figure it out. I'll just be along for the ride. But, congratulations, Common Sense. I know it might seem a little corny, but you have just made history on this channel, on this live stream on the Max and Larry show. You are the first ever member to this channel. So I'm glad you did that because it also tells me that it's working. You can see that funny little video. If you guys join the channel, you'll get to see the little kind of promotional video that we did. I just edited it really quick. So, how to become. So if you want to know how to become a member, if you go to the subscribe button, right to the right, I believe, should be a little join. Is that where it is, Max? Right next to the subscribe button?
It's directly left of the subscribe button. So if
Left.
you're
Okay.
currently subscribed, you just got to go back on that page and you'll see it directly left of that. So, and then speaking of this promotional video, we're getting close to having that done. Of course, just to bring more of an audience to our platform, of course. And I will state this, the intro, I made the intro, and I'm not gonna pat myself on the back or anything, but in my humble opinion, it really pops. It's pretty cool. Kind of pumps you up. So
Yeah. I just put it in there now just because I wanted to give a little treat, I guess, to people that are joining. And then also it's more of like a rough draft because we're going to try to put together a sort of a professional commercial just to get, sort of a promotional video just to get the word out about our show, to bring in a wider and bigger audience. So you guys are like the OGs, Common Sense, Legal Alien, Kingsman, all you guys that are in here. And I apologize if I miss anybody. I'll go back. Mike, of course, who is an actual friend in real life to Max. You guys are the original guys. Absolute Crypto. I can't forget about Absolute Crypto. He's here a lot too. So you guys are the OGs of this of the Max and Larry show.
yep, absolutely. And then like later on, just little things, for instance, like Common Sense, you got that little green thing next to your name and so on. Like we'll try to improve things like that by actually having like icons that of course match the channel. But like we always say, Rome wasn't built in a day. These things will come. So
We
yeah.
we were trying that. We were messing around with that a few months ago before I knew Max. Johan and I were trying to figure it out. The difficult thing is that the little graphics are so teeny tiny, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, come on, support the show. Appreciate that, guys. Do me a favor, like Legal Alien says, it's free. Smash the like button so we can get this out there. Go out and tell the masses about the show because this is a very, very unique show, and there's a lot of great shows. It's Max. Let's just make this comparison to restaurants. So you've got your morning shows, right? So you've got you go to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks, right? You've got the morning crypto shows. They're kind of like that. And then you want to go to lunch and you have the afternoon shows for lunch. You've got like McDonald's or whatever, Burger King or some of the other lunch places, Wendy's, or maybe you sit down and have, something a little fancier than that. I don't know. And then, you've got this show. I don't know if this show, I don't even know what the show is, I like, a few different types of food. I like Japanese. I like Chinese. I like Italian and also Mexican food. So I don't know what kind of restaurant we are, but I'm hoping we're more of like
We're a smorgasbord.
We're what? A smorgasbord. We're a buffet.
We're a smorgasbord. No, actually, in reality, we're more of the quality over quantity. But maybe we're a little bit of both, right?
I like to think that we're sort of like not a chain restaurant, but more of like a mom and pop. Something that is like kind of like something that gives you like a more like a family at home type of feel. And we want you guys to get to know us as people as well. So that's what it's all about. But the thing I can't stress enough, what we're trying to do differently on this channel, we're a low impact channel. Let's try to have a high impact. We want to, be good for the space. We want to clean up the space. We want to clean up the telegrams. We want to try to reduce the scams out there. But also, we want this to be your channel. This is the Max and Larry show, but we want this show or channel, whatever you want to call it, everything together here about you. So the things that you want to talk about is what we want to talk about. The devs that you want to hear talk are going to be the ones talking on here. By the way, Cliff Fettner from Shibnobi is coming here Thursday night. So tune in for that. That's a big show.
Guys, that's huge for us because, at the end of the day, are you kidding me? Shibnobi, okay? Like, even Mike Wool, who's, in our in the chat and so on, he's been hearing me talk about Shibnobi since, I don't know, early January or something. And, technically, this is what, our 16th episode of the, Crypto Talk Now with Max and Larry, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep, 16.
So that means we've technically only been on for 16 days, and we already got Cliff Fettner of Shibnobi. Guys, come on, you want to talk about low impact? We're making an impact, and it's all thanks to people like you who support this this channel, this stream, my channel, Larry's channel, the show. You can't thank you guys enough, really.
Yeah, we want to keep reiterating that. So, and also you guys are welcome. If anybody wants to come on here, members of the audience are also welcome, or other YouTubers. I haven't been doing too much. In the last 4 or 5 days, I probably jumped in one Telegram. I don't want to put it on the spot, but I jumped into Robo Inu. Nothing against Robo Inu. I think it's a good project. I'm not investing in it. And I just said, hey, how's it going, guys? I think it was like yesterday or the day before. So the general sense, the mood is kind of down, I'm guessing, in a lot of these projects. So, we'd love to have people come on and talk crypto with us. But, Max, so you did throw me a curveball. We did the guessing game. And actually, I fired right back. I threw I threw a 97-mile-an-hour fastball right up here and brushed you back because I guessed it.
Yeah,
Or maybe
did.
I hit your curveball out of the park or something.
Or you threw a knuckleball at me or something I wasn't expecting.
There you go.
Or how about a changeup? Technically, that would have been a changeup. Yeah, you threw a changeup at me. So
there you go.
I threw the fastball and you came back with the changeup. So.
And the funny thing is I know what someone just said. Kingsman earlier said, I don't know if you can find the membership. I don't know why, because I tested it on another phone because I couldn't find it on mine. And I don't understand why the little button is not there. The join button doesn't seem to be on the mobile version. So that's another, quirky thing. But, I know it's on the computer version. So we appreciate your support and we appreciate you hitting that like button. Guys, if you want Hex to come on, we're thinking about bringing Hex back. They want to come back on. We're thinking about maybe bringing them back next Thursday. Just type in the chat, Hex, if you guys want them to come back. I think Common Sense bought Hex last night, so that's pretty cool to hear that.
Well, it is Tuesday, Larry. It is Tuesday, and as Keith was saying, all those Hexicans, they just crossed the border from Mexico. So if it was me, like we got Dread, aka Ron, in the comments saying I need to talk to you guys about all these tacos, making me hungry. Right, Taco Tuesday. So you never know. Maybe they took advantage of that. So
they were a bunch of they were really funny guys. They had some funny comments. I know that one of them said that come on over to Hex because the water's warm. The other one said the reason why the water's warm is because everyone's peeing in the water. So I thought that was just funny. Some of the things. So yeah, Common Sense wants Hex, so they're coming back. Just because Common Sense alone wants Hex, that's good enough for me. And I'm sure a lot of other people want to hear about Hex. But here, so the fired up segment is just going to be real simple. So I'm not going to mention any names. I will just to, clarify things. I do hold, Saitama. Now, a while back, I haven't made a video. I did sell off some Saitama. I did, in fact, do that. But that was, probably a couple weeks ago. I haven't made a video outlining that. But I didn't want to get everybody up in an uproar. But I still hold Saitama. I still hold Shibnobi. It looks like I can actually see what the value is now on MetaMask. And I still hold like WagMe and, a few other, which is a game, right? So a few other meme tokens. But what I did last night is really, I have a lot of dust too. I consolidated and got rid of a lot of stuff and turned it into ETH and then brought it over to crypto.com. And I'm just kind of paring things down because right now, this is just kind of crazy. This is really something that, it's kind of a dangerous market. So my rant, or whatever you want to call it, the fired up session is please, guys, don't make any more tokens that say Inu in it. And let's try to focus on some solid projects. How many times we had to hear about play to earn and metaverse and stuff like that? Everybody's copying one another. So I'd like to see some projects come out with some really nice tokenomics and also some really nice utility and stop, copying everybody. And we don't need all these Inus. I mean, what do you say about that, Max?
I completely agree, but at the same time, still recognize great projects. Don't make the mistake I did. For instance, I got into Shiba Inu last May. You guys know the story. Some of you guys don't, but yeah, I got into May, and then I saw all-time highs back in October. But before I saw all-time highs, Saitama was that big one that was on my list. I literally saw it like the first or second day, and I was right on the verge of putting anywhere from like 2 to 5K in it on like day 1 or 2. And why did I not do that? Because it said Inu in it. It said Saitama Inu in it. And I thought, okay, well, these guys are just trying to, basically hop on the success of Shiba Inu. And I was like, it's just another one. And so as a result, yeah, I got a bag before the big, before that Vegas run up, right? And, made some decent profits. But then I got my second bag after all that, right? Do I still believe in Saitama and so on? I still think they could recover. Yes, absolutely. I know there's a lot of FUD, a lot of negativity behind it, and so on. Some people say it's a scam, stuff like that. Personally, I don't believe that, but we can always agree to disagree. I don't have to be on board in regards to all that. But at the same time, looking at that chart, I'll never forget it. If I would have put that $2,000 into Saitama when I was originally on the fence of doing it, that's like uh $20 million. Yeah, because it was at 10 zeros. It shaved off 4 zeros, right? Before that Vegas event. And that's, it bugs me, it haunts me, but I learn from it. So at the same time, yeah, let's try to be a little bit more picky, right? We not getting into like dog crap Inu and all this crap, right? But at the end of the day, still try to
You
recognize the
just
good
say dog
projects.
crap Inu.
Dog crap Inu. Yeah, so you know what I mean.
Now somebody's going to go make dog crap Inu.
I
Well,
doubt
if,
it, but
if
you know what I
Elon
mean.
Musk said dog crap, like if Elon Musk, if he put a picture of a shovel and he's picking up his dog crap in the backyard from Floki, now they're going to have a dog crap Inu. That's what it
Well,
would.
that's different. I will say this: the one that comes closest to what I just mentioned, there is one called the No. I'm not gonna say the real word. Coin. It's called No Ish Coin. All
I
right, you can
saw
look it
that.
up.
Yeah, I have seen that
Yeah,
one.
I would never touch that. I looked into that. It's just too many red flags. As far as liquidity, from top to bottom, all that stuff on the contract. So
What happened, Legal Alien, with State Realty? I'm not understanding what this chart is right here. I really don't know much about, this did they take the liquidity out or something? I don't even know if I have the right contract up, but it looks like, there's like no liquidity in there. So I don't know what happened to State Realty. That's not something I invested in. But I'm curious to see what happened. And then, common sense says that this is the year of the meaningful utilities. I hope so. What's up with terrarium? That's a good question. So we'll look at some of these things right now, and then we'll jump into what Max wants to talk about. Because Max has got a good lineup of things to talk about. That's for sure. He wants to talk about. I think you want to talk about Shiba today, right, Max?
I do want to talk about Shiba today, but we'll get into that in just a bit.
Yeah. Let's see what we'll be kind to our OGs here, the original crypto talkers, or the original Max and Larry show followers. We've got terrarium's down 16%. That is one of the ones I kept. I guess terrarium's really not a meme coin or a meme token, but I know they're trying to do a centralized exchange. I don't really know what's going on with terrarium. I think I'll give them a pass. I know that they had the big problem with the announcement of Binance. Looks like they got scammed and still made the announcement on Twitter. But I just think that everything across the board, these smaller low cap tokens are just getting crushed right now because somebody like me is going in. I'm pretty much a risk taker, and I'm like selling off a lot of my positions. And I mean, I'm selling some of the things at losses. I did keep Terrarium. I did keep Saitama. I did keep, Shibnobi. But at this point, I'm just trying to be a little more conservative because I'm just getting sick. Like I got my tail kicked, by like 7 or 8 different, e-news and, these meme tokens. One that I forgot last night, Max, you know what really one that kind of pisses me off besides Mononoke is Kishimoto Inu. Did you get in that one?
No, I did not get into that.
Well, you're lucky you
Nothing
didn't.
against it. I will give credit where credit's due. At least that team did that thing in which they tried to have like a relief fund for all the people that lost I should say all the people, but a certain amount of people, right, that
Did they?
lost in Suzuki. Yeah, they had this
Oh,
thing, but
okay.
the problem was it only how should I state this? So for people who ended up getting that on, can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. So for the people who ended up getting, I guess, Suzuki Inu somehow on Binance Smart Chain, I didn't even know that was a thing. They had this thing in which they would help refund those people. But let's face it, it was like what 95% of everybody that got into Suzuki Inu got it through Ethereum. So with the gas fees, it's like this is not going to work. So for the small percentage of the people who did get on Binance Smart Chain, they did get some relief from it, and I'll give them kudos on that. It was nice to see them do that.
So we've got 3 that we're going to talk about tonight because the way the show works is I just say crazy things and I kind of comment and respond to what Max wants to talk about. Max wants to talk about, and also what everybody else wants to talk about too. I shouldn't just say Max. But Max wants to talk about 3 today, and we'll see which one he wants to go with. He's got he sends me the links every day. So we've got Shiba Inu, Polkadot, and B-Rise. Which one do you want to start with first?
You know what? Let's see here. Let me take a look real quick. Let's actually just start off with Shiba Inu real quick.
Okay.
Not just to hop on the ship bandwagon or anything like that. I get some people are for ships, some people aren't. For me, I mean, I had one of the best I should say the best financial year of my life was last year, thanks to Shiba Inu. But nonetheless, the reason why I want to point out Shiba Inu, everybody, is because of this. So, for instance, while everything was bleeding and continued to bleed, some cryptos are up, some cryptos are down, as you guys know. Currently speaking, it does state on the overall crypto market cap, it kind of has been fluctuating. So roughly like an hour ago, it says it's up 5.5%, and I just refreshed it, and we're back down to 1.41 trillion, and it's just kind of like, oh boy, okay, we're going back into bleeding again. But what stands out? Well, what stands out is Shiba Inu. So, for instance, earlier today, Shiba was up over like 25%, while everything else was down, and that was kind of caught my eye in regards to that. Currently speaking, it's up about 11%. It's still significant because here's the thing, this is the lowest I've seen SHIB since what? Probably way before
October, early
yeah.
October.
Yeah, I would
August.
say like right before the run up, because you got to keep in mind, I mean, still technically there's 4 zeros and a number, which is like 1617 right now. So for the majority of us, like myself, I got into Shiba Inu, bought my biggest bag when it was 0.50799. That was like my average buy price. Granted, I had to buy multiple bags and so on because on crypto.com, there was transaction limits, and I had to, of course, increase my limits by proving in my income and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, that was really significant to see it even shed 1 0 in any project for that matter. So it's like, what's going on with Shiba Inu, you might be asking. So here's the thing. Motley Fool, they love to bash Shiba Inu. And they've been bashing Shiba Inu from, I would say, literally day one. And I get it. Motley Fool is mainly focused on what? Stocks, stuff like that, right? But here is what caught my eye. So today is May 10th. And by the way, this is my grandma's birthday. She's been passed away for many, many years, but just want to say, happy birthday to my grandma. It says Shiba Inu coin could hit $5 by 2050. Now, of course, as we all know, there would be a heck of a lot of things that have to go on. The overall crypto market cap would have to just be like insanely high. They get it, all these things, right? So it's for them to even go from one extreme to this extreme, it did catch my attention because it's like, we're just, everybody would be super happy just to see this get to cent. Everybody would be super happy just to see this get to half a cent, right? Like, for instance, with myself, Shiba Inu goes to half a cent. I mean, I'm gonna have over $1 million in SHIB. If it goes a penny, I'm worth over $10 million because of my position. But I don't get Motley Fool. 2 months ago they're just bashing on SHIB. Don't get into SHIB, and then now it's like Shiba Inu could go to $5 by 2050, according to this crypto analyst. But when you go further into it, then they try to like get your attention with the reasoning. So it says the odds are long, but several catalysts could send this cryptocurrency soaring. Let's just take a moment to reflect on this. So, for instance, it says Shiba Inu shocked investors last year at its price, which appreciated to 42 million%. I'm serious, guys. For people who may be new to this, show and so on, that is no typo. You can go see it for yourself. Go to Coinbase.com, for instance. You don't have to be registered. Click on prices. Look at the overall outlook, for instance, of Shiba Inu. And it's just insane the amount of gains that that earned. I mean, Shiba Inu started off with 10 zeros, right? Back in, what was it, summer 2020, and now it's down to 4 zeros. So for those people who even got into it during that time, to see 6 zeros shed, that's what you see, like what Larry's talking about. All these, puppy dog Inu and this Inu and that Inu, right? Who doesn't want to hang on the coattails of some kind of project like that, right? So at the end of the day, yes, for me, and obviously Larry, him and I have been talking and so on, and the way we are going to handle things is, we're more selective. We want to get more into at least the top 500 token and coin projects. That just seems like a more safer bet to go with, especially with everything that's going on. Like, you kind of want to stay away from the Inu projects, like you mentioned, right, Larry?
Yeah, did I mention that I like Crow? Does everybody on the show know that I like Crow?
Exactly, but what is the general consensus for everybody who's been in this particular emu project and that particular emu project, even big influencers who cover all the, this emu and that emu, they always come back to Crow. So it's like Crow is kind of like the safe bet, if you will, for everybody. I mean, again, not financial advice, but it's like, let's face it, that's a given. Anyway, where I'm going with this is this, all right? So, it says moving forward, and we don't put a lot of emphasis on this, but it says part of the enthusiasm that was undoubtedly due to optimistic price targets. It goes on to mention, it says, digital asset specialist Telegon has outlined a scenario in which Shiba Inu could surpass $5 by 2050. Again, this is like so bizarre.
Yeah.
But it says that implies that 26 million% upside based on a current price of what it is basically right now. Now, again, 2050, I mean, we're looking at quite a bit of time. And what is that? 28 years. A lot of things could realistically happen. I mean, anyway, that's just such a long time away. But for some people, they're very young and so on, or, want to pass something on to their kids or their grandchildren and so on. When you really look at it from the multi-year outlook, we're talking like 28 years. Now it's starting to make more sense. Doesn't make sense now with everything bleeding like crazy. But anyway, it's just a little bit more than that. I mean, it goes on to mention on the Motley Fool article. You guys can read it for yourself. Seriously, all you gotta do is type of Shiba Inu. It'll come right up on the news. But that's the point I'm trying to make. Is these companies, Motley Fool, so on and so forth, they want to see what worked before, the negative news. They're setting the narrative with negative news constantly. Now they're trying to set a new narrative with positive news. But why are they setting the narrative with new positive news? Is it because everything is so negative in the market as we speak? Come on, guys, think about it. You know what I mean? Like, that would make sense, right? Everything's so negative, nobody wants to hear that, right? So now positive news. I mean, come on, Motley Fool. I'm going to go out and say it. They're the most hypocritical outfit out there when it comes to especially crypto.
Well, they do this type of stuff. Remember, they're also trying to get, views on their articles, people to read their articles. So
that's my point. They're doing just that. We are talking about this, right? Obviously, the engagement. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I mean,
no, it's fine. I'm just, I used to have a subscription a long time ago just to look, at their stocks and stuff. But, I think Motley Fool is a little bit foolish, with a lot of the stuff. They go ping pong back and forth. They're just trying to get people to read. But I think that just the one thing to keep in mind is that a lot of people are like, oh, SHIB's going to a penny or $1, and they think it's going to happen in 6 months or a year. The thing to keep in mind is, the overall market cap is, whatever it is right now, 1.5 trillion or something like that. So, and then the overall economy and a lot of things have to happen, of course, with inflation and stuff like that, or if they want to burn a lot of the tokens, I think this will happen and more people coming into crypto. Right now, I'm not seeing new people come into crypto. I could be wrong. It just looks like money's getting cycled around. But as far as the meme tokens go, I don't think, it might be higher than 90%. Maybe 99% of these are going to be gone. Maybe the only ones left is going to be Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, perhaps Atama and Shibnobi. Beyond that, a lot of these little ones, I guess, well, I don't even know if you would consider Ape coin. I guess Ape might be like a meme coin, but it just seems much more than that. But that I think has a bright future.
I don't consider that meme coin. I mean, I think people that know about Ape look at it as what? A spawn off, like an NFT coin. I know it's
right.
Thing to say, but yeah, spawn of that.
It's kind of in a class. Yeah, it's kind of in a class of its own. I think it opened a lot of eyes for people.
Right, and it is. I mean, it is in a class of its own. I mean, I think that's what sets itself apart from all the other ones.
Yep. And then just to recognize common sense. Common sense says B-Rise is. He's very happy with B-Rise. We're going to get to B-Rise soon. And he also says B-Rise will overtake Solana and Cardano. That's it's a good question. I do have a very small bag of B-Rise. I don't know a lot about it, but I know that Max is going to cover it a little later when we're done talking about Shiba Inu. And so we got Polkadot to talk about too. But so you want to what else do you want to talk about Shiba? Are you?
I'll be honest. I want to get a few more. Hopefully, we can get a few more viewers coming in when we're talking about B-Rise.
Yeah.
That's the main reason why I put that off for now. I'll just be honest.
Yeah, no, that's good. And we want to thank, I think Common Sense was the first to ask about B-Rise. I think he mentioned some stuff on Twitter to try
Yeah,
to
I mean,
get.
shout out to Common Sense. I mean,
Yeah,
you kept mentioning it and so on, and when you keep mentioning stuff like that, it's like, well, there's a reason why he keeps mentioning it. Is because it's obviously something that he's passionate about, and he feels as though it's a good project and it's worth looking into. And at the end of the day, we always want, whether it's members or just frequent, audience members or
subscribers,
viewers, whatever. Even if
viewers.
you're not
Yep.
subscribed, all that, bring that up to our attention. At the end of the day, that's part of the engagement, why we're here, and so on. So. We love seeing that. But yeah, before we get into, for instance, B-Rise, hopefully we get a few more people to join the live stream and so on. But let's just actually take a moment to look at Polkadot. I have a few announcements I want to make in regards to Polkadot real quick.
Okay.
So looking at Polkadot, again, a lot, almost, I should say everything, but let's face it, for the top 50, top 100, um, great buying opportunities. Again, like we always say, not financial advice or anything like that. But I mean, even Polkadot at this price, or even if it, drop slightly below 11, around 10, I mean, it's just really great prices. Of course, the volume has been significantly up. I mean, 10% up is nothing to bat an eye out when it comes to Polkadot, because at the same time, I mean, it's like, again, it's anything over like $5-10. I mean, your return on investment is going to be significantly smaller. But I mean, if Polkadot gets anything close, even half to all-time highs, well, then that's not too bad of an investment. But the announcement I want to make in regards to that, I'm going to actually pull that up while Larry's looking
You
at
can
that
see
real
there,
quick.
Max. It looks like it was as high as, like, in the last year, $55. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a
really,
lot
really
of
high.
people were talking about it last year. Yep.
Yep.
So anyway, as far as the announcement in regards to Polkadot, it does state that Polkadot got a new update after a successful community vote. So you got to keep in mind, it's kind of like the concept of a governance token or coin and so on. You get to vote on certain things. That's a nice thing about their community. It mentions that parachain messaging is now possible on the Polkadot network. The XCM format enables communication between parachains, smart contracts, decentralized apps, and substrate palettes. So, if anything, it just makes everything more transparent and so on. Does this mean there's going to be a big, all-time highs and run-ups? No, but what do you want to see? You want to see projects, especially something that's in like the top 20, like Polkadot, create more transparency and more catalysts, and that obviously is going to get that done. So that was just the big announcement in regards to Polkadot. When I see big announcements, I want to go ahead and share that with you guys. There is just one more, even though I don't have it on your list in particular. The other day we were talking about Near Protocol, and I was talking about the stablecoins and so on. There's another big announcement that just came out in regards to Near. Near sees a surge in the number of wallets thanks to Move to Earn. Now, if you remember, I did cover this not that long ago, maybe yesterday, the day before. It says the Sweat Coin project rewards users for sweating, quote unquote, sweating or moving, and has led to a massive spike in Near wallets created. Now, remember when I mentioned the whole thing about they created 500,000 wallets in a day? Well, that's true. On May 4th alone, Near created over 500,000 new accounts in a day. That's tremendous.
Yeah, that's something.
Well, when you tie that into the, what Tron's got going on with the USD double D stable coin and so on, again, it's like some of these things start to make sense. It might not happen, boom, like in one day, but again, it's kind of like that pressure cooker concept. I mean, it's things will start taking off because of the supply and demand. They already created the supply, and these things with the wallets. I mean, obviously, there's high demand for it. People want to be able to earn what? Quite a bit on their stable coin, and they're going to switch to the protocols that are going to offer the most amount of interest. In this case, Near Protocol paired with what? Paired with USD double D stable coin from
Yeah.
Tron. Yeah, it just makes sense. So that is the supply. That is the new demand. And that's why I'm so, I guess you could say I'm really leaning on being like not extremely bullish, but I am pretty darn bullish on Tron. I think that their time is coming, and they're definitely one that's going to be flying under the radar. Did I buy a position in Tron yet? No, I haven't, but they're very, very much on my radar. So those are just a couple announcements I want to make. I'm gonna hand it back over to Larry for now.
Okay, cool. Well, this is what we're talking about. We're trying to transition a little bit because, during times when the market is not doing so great, it's kind of good to explore more of the top 500 or even the top 100 or the top 50, depending on your feeling. But, there are some good deals that you don't want to overlook on the top 500. I'm just kind of getting, kind of fed up with a lot of these meme tokens. If it's all about, getting in early, getting in and getting out, but, they make a lot of promises and they don't always deliver. So, it's you kind of want to believe that it's long term, but it doesn't always seem to go that way. But I just added Shiba Inu to my favorites. That's one I forgot about because I do hold Shiba Inu, and you can see it right there. So I wish you could put things in here that are not in the top like 1,000, but you can't. So, but this is pretty cool. I bought some mana the other day. Of course, Zill, I was in and out of that. Crow, Saitama, it's just kind of bleeding out right now. Ethereum bouncing back a little bit, and then Shiba Inu.
I was right on the fence with Gala too. I almost
Oh
pulled
yeah,
the trigger.
Gala.
Yeah, I almost pulled the trigger on that one to make it, get a position in that because, I saw it was like real close to 10 cents. I was like, wow, man, I don't know if I'll see that for much longer. So
I had a feeling about Shiba Inu when Shiba Inu was down. I'm like, Shiba Inu has such a strong community and following, and there's a lot of holders. I'm like, they think people are going to go in there and buy it up because it's at a discount. So it looks like what people did. So, but yeah, so so if we want to welcome everyone that's just joined us, someone else just popped in here, and we want to recognize, congratulations to Common Sense. Common Sense has made history on this channel, on this live stream. He is the first ever member of Crypto Talk Now. We just added that feature because I couldn't figure out how to get it to work before. But if you go to the left of the subscribe button, if you want to be a member, there's 3 different levels. It's affordable for everyone. It helps to support Max and I when somebody joins during our live stream. That's something that we share in the revenue. Actually, it gets split 4 ways, right? It's myself, Max, YouTube, and then the IRS gets their cut.
man,
So
I'll tell you, man, YouTube alone taking 30% of the cut. Ugh.
I know. That's something. Larry, did you have a chance to review Node Money? I did not. So I haven't even had a chance to express that to or share that with Max because our schedules haven't maxed up. One of these or haven't matched up. One of these days, we're going to start sitting down across the camera and start meeting about some different projects. So Kingsman dropped me some information about some Node mining. If you want to drop that, because I don't have it right here on my Twitter in front of me. If you want to drop it in the chat, we'll take a look at it. I think there was something else that Kingsman wanted to look at too. We'd be happy to look at those things. Call Keith from CVC. He can build the bubble chart. I know we need to get Keith to do the bubble charts. You know what? I don't want to spill the beans, but I think, I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, but there's a good chance that Keith is going to also be here on Thursday. I think that it might, like I said, I'll just tease this out there. There's nothing set in stone because I haven't talked to Keith and I haven't talked to Teddy Ganja, but I did reach out to Cliff the other day. He said there's a chance that he might bring Teddy with him, and also Keith from CBC might pop in. So I'll just throw that out there because you guys are so close to the channel. Oh, look at here. Here's somebody else here that always comes in. Welcome to Selmo. Is that how we say it? Selmo Fode.
Selmo Fud, like that.
So welcome. He says, hey, Max and Larry, keep crypto alive. Yeah, right now.
Absolutely.
We have it on life support right now, or everybody does.
Yeah, thanks for always supporting the channel, Selma. We appreciate it, man. Always. And everybody else as well. Just read some of these comments just real quick.
Sure.
So for instance, Common Sense, you maybe already cover this. B-Rise overtakes Solana and Cardano. I don't really know. I mean, things could happen. I mean, I'll state this. I mean, before we get more into that, I do like the idea, how should I say this? To me, it's kind of like there's CVC. They want to be like the new coin market cap, but so much better. And B-Rise stands out as being something like kind of in their own way, like Certic, in their own way. So that I thought that was kind of original. And I also really like what I saw with the staking. That was pretty impressive as well. But there are some concerns I have in regards to how they're when I was looking at the contract on token sniffer and so on. But again, we'll get back into that. Kingsman says I did 200 last couple of days and it actually works. So
Yeah, he was saying that. I saw that in the Twitter. That's something a little bit more complex with the staking and everything. And we'll have to like kind of test that offline. But if you want to drop in the chat, we'll take a look at their website. But yeah, he sent me, I think he put some money in and earned $200 in the last couple of days. So that's good to hear that. You can just have USDT in your wallet and it is mining automatically. That's really cool. I just threw Solana up here and I threw in the favorites also. Where's ADA here? I thought I put ADA in there. I guess it didn't pop up. But so I sold off Solana when it was like in the high 90s, just because I wasn't crazy about what was going on. I didn't know like if it was going to. I know they have like they're trying to get NFTs and stuff like that on there. But I don't know. I feel like Solana kind of pumped and had its day. And I just felt like it was gonna. People were saying it was gonna go up. I felt like it was gonna go down. Now I did buy more Cardano the other day. I mean, it's hard to say with Cardano. To me, it just looks like a bargain right now. But that's it's debatable because Cardano
Cardano's long
couldn't get
term,
out of
man.
its own, it couldn't get
Yeah.
out of its own way when everything else was moving good last fall. It just was doing nothing. So I'm not sure.
I look at Cardano like I look at XLM Stellar Lumens, and those are two long-term plays. They'd never get into a rush to make anything, but when they do make what they make, it's quality, proof of work or proof of stake projects. And it's just they do awesome things. Don't get me wrong. It's just they're not about how should I say it, like hey, everyone out there, we're going to release this at this time on this date. They don't ever do that. It's literally like when those things come out, then they announce it, and that is it. Yeah. Great long-term play. I definitely believe multi-year, it's going to be like, wow, I'm glad that I invested in it back in 2021, that type of thing. But I mean, as far as it being boring and like, if you want to see a lot of movement, like some of these other ones and so on, and you don't want to wait, then yeah, Cardano is extremely boring, right? That's just the way it is. Same with XLM. Um, I hate to say it, even Polygon, and that's something I want to bring up real quick. If you could just give me a moment, Larry, if you don't mind me
Polygon.
touching bases on this. You were talking about Solana, you're talking about all these other ones. For the audience that's looking at everything right now, tell me if I'm too far off on this, right? So you got Solana, you got Polygon, you got some of these other ones. They're technically layer ones, right? How do you guys feel about all these layer ones? Do you feel as though that they're too focused still on layer one, and that's why you see like Solana, which is, let's face it, focused on layer one, Polygon gone focused on layer one, that these are like tanking so much, or just like, nah, don't even worry about it, don't sweat it. It's more or less just like everything. I mean, because of inflation, everything that's going on with the stock market, the Russian Ukraine war, just everything sucks. It's not that. Or do you feel as though, you know what, you made a good point there. Um, these projects and so on, they're going to keep tanking because they're just what? They're too much of a layer one solution. Yeah, they're a way faster layer one solution compared to Ethereum, but it's just that they're layer one solutions. I would like to hear what you guys had to say about that.
Yeah, yeah, that is a good point. But I will say this, I wish that I would have gotten in early on all these layer ones because just look at where they went. But Polygon is one that I don't know. I had always had a good feeling about it. I mean, it's down to 97 cents. It's one that I'm keeping an eye on, but also the one that I'm kind of like surprised about has been Phantom, but Phantom with an F. So that's like, also, I mean, you can see right there now it's all the way down to 52 cents.
Yeah, that was tempting for me too, but that was just the whole thing. I mean, like literally, it was like 20 different projects, all super tempting.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just like, gosh, man, I just, put like
Oh,
23K into crypto a few months ago, so.
look, we got some people, people that were here. Now, I don't remember if RL came in, but we're going to get to your question in a second. RL, welcome. He wants to know about Mina protocol, but I also want to give a shout out to Trap Gravity. I was excited about that because I think he was new to the channel from yesterday because we brought the
He
guys
was.
in from
Welcome
Hex.
back, Trap. Glad to see you
Yeah,
back.
welcome back. And then he says the floor is lava. I know that's what the Hexicans say. And then Polygon has admin keys. Well, I didn't know that. But welcome to RL and also welcome to Trap Gravity. Have you heard of this one, Max? Have you heard of Mina protocol?
Have not heard of that one. I have to look into that.
All right, let's see if I can find it on here. I don't know if it's on CoinMarketCap. I'll just type it in. Oh, here we go. Well, you know what? Maybe it's pretty. Where's the ranking here? Oh, wow. You know what? It's ranked number
Top
83. So
100.
shame
Yeah.
on me. Yeah, I didn't even know about it. But yeah, let's take a look at Mina protocol. So what do we think about it? We're not familiar with it, but we'll study it offline and look at it for a couple seconds here. But yeah, so I guess it's number 83, Max. It's just one that we're just not familiar with.
No, that's fine. We can take more of a look into it. Actually, just while we're at it, just real quick. I mean, take a look at the all-time highs real quick. See how long ago that was.
Yeah. Well, on the CoinMarketCap, looks like it only goes back for a year, but I can just do it on the chart. Let's see the all.
Yeah. Okay, probably right around the time of first launch. So in reality, the last one that we saw that was significant was last September. But I mean, that kind of makes sense. I mean, Chronos, last September was all-time highs. So
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like everything that's September, October, and then mid-November. I just always remember November 13th, the day, of the Vegas event for Saitama. It just seems like everything after that started to slide down. Maybe because I was so into Saitama, but everything seemed to go down after that. There was that period of time from September through like the middle of November where you could have just literally taken a dart and thrown it at a board and it probably would have gone up.
heck, even
So,
Clearpool. I mean, Clearpool went from 38 cents to $2.57, 2.5 weeks. And that was, I think, either in October or November. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of things.
we like you guys too. We like you, Trap. And we want to also make the announcement that he says right here, Common Sense became a Hexagon after last night. So that's really cool. So this, really works. We bring people on here. They talk about their project. And then members of the channel, get into it. So, the thing that you might have missed, Trap Gravity, is that Common Sense became the first ever member of this channel. We just enabled membership. So we just wanted to point out that and recognize Common Sense. And then RL says, thanks. The team behind Mina Protocol is O1 Labs. I'm impressed. So yeah, definitely RL, this is looks like a deep project that we have to check out. Being on number 83, we'll do the research offline. And maybe what we'll do is if you come back in the next couple of days, maybe Max and I will talk about it when Max has a chance to research it, because Max is more of the of our team right here between me and Max. Max is the one that likes to do more in-depth research. He's good at doing that, and then we kind of discuss it from there. So yeah, we'll definitely take a look at it.
Larry's more the guy that does a better job of like, I guess I always make this reference, like we're like a band, we got to book gigs or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like Larry's the guy who books the gigs. I'm the more the guy who does like the analytics or the research behind stuff. So, but we're a team and we complement each other really well.
Hey, shout out to my friend Johan. He's calling himself, well, his new screen name, Johan G Cash.
Oh, that's what
I like
Johan
that.
actually looks like? Like
Yeah,
Johan the
yeah,
tech
yeah,
guy?
yeah. That's my
Oh,
friend
wow.
Johan. Yeah, he's my
Hey,
tech guy
Johan, right
and my
on, man.
friend.
You look
Great
super
show, guys.
professional
So,
right there. Yeah.
so we're appreciative of Johan joining us, and Johan is going to have to work with me to get some more of the bugs worked out for the studio and have some better things that we've got planned for graphics. So we're excited to have Johan helping Max and I. So also RL says, nice. I've been in and out of crypto since 2012. Wow. So that's something. So hopefully you got some Bitcoin early on. And that's you don't see too many people that have been in crypto that long. So where do you want to go from here, Max? Where do you want to pivot to?
Well, you know what? I think we might as well start pivoting towards Bitgert, aka B Rise.
Okay. So here we go. We got the website up here. If you guys want to know, it's Bitgert. It's BITGERT.com. If you want to follow along at home, that's where we're on right now.
I don't know, for some reason, like I think a Bitgert, and it sounds like a Sesame Street character or something. So Bitgert Inu. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, all right. So for instance, Bitgert. So guys who just tuned in. I'm sorry. Common Sense, who is a member and a great supporter of our show, has been mentioning to me and Larry for the last, I don't know how long. Look into, have you guys looked into B Rise, look into B Rise, et cetera, et cetera. So last night I finally decided to do that. And again, I'm still gonna, dig deeper into it and maybe read more of the white paper, stuff like that. Again, none of this is financial advice or anything, but I will state this, like I mentioned just briefly earlier, the gist I got from this was it's kind of like the concept of, um, for instance, like you have CVC, they want to make a better coin market cap, right? Where there's more transparency, no politics, et cetera, et cetera. Things that just kind of like make sense. If something is supposed to be in the top 100, have it listed in the top 100. Don't have to get all this extra verification or make an excuse like, well, we need to be verified with CMC, and just cut out all the politics. Things that make sense will make sense. At the end of the day, this concept sounds like it really makes sense. And basically, what it is kind of like, let's say you have a new project, right? You're trying to get your token project launched, you and your dev team and so on, and you're kind of new to it and so on. Bitgert B Rise can actually help you, be a great launch pad to help you do that. They kind of remind me of like the concept of CertiK, but instead of just being focusing on auditing, right, and not having tokens and coins being onboarded, they do just that. And on top of that, for instance, it says join the fastest growing ecosystem. It mentions, just hold on a second, Larry. It says they have. Can you go up for a second?
Yep. Up here.
Yeah, just where you're at. I was
Okay.
just reading that for everybody real quick.
Oh yeah.
On the middle
Sorry, I was
page.
looking
Yeah,
at the
that's right.
comments.
So, for instance, I mean, it says they got 70,000 plus transactions, over 131,000 community users. But get this, it says, uh, you know, Bicker is a crypto engineering organization that has built a super fast blockchain which has 100,000 TPS and has zero cost gas fee. Now, where it says it has 100K TPS from a gaming point of view, to me this is significant because if they have anything in regards to Web3, which of course, as you see right here, they do, this stands out because at the end of the day, I don't know if you guys play games, but I'm the type of guy, I will not put up with lag whatsoever. And if I'm on a metaverse platform, let's say it's Metopolis, let's say it's Luna One, heck, even Shiba Inu, Shivers, all that stuff, right? From a gaming point of view, not from an educational point of view, and being immersed with the classroom setting, I get it. All those things are other avenues of social media inside these metaverses. But from a gaming point of view, you don't got no time whatsoever for lag. Forget that. And when people get the gist of, this platform has leg, they're going to hop on to the next one. So, for instance, for them to make that statement of 100K TPS and has zero cost gas fee, that tells me one of two things, or two things, I should say. One, I'm probably not going to see any of this leg if I'm playing a certain game inside this particular Web3 metaverse platform, whatever one it is. Number two, I also like the idea that there's a zero cost gas fee. Wow. So basically you're stating to me that your platform is not going to have any leg, right? As far as gaming and so on. And number two, um, I'm not going to have to put up gas fees to, for transactions and stuff like that. Wow, that kind of really caught my attention. So at the end of the day, um, of course, there's more I need to look into and so on. But another thing that stood out, if you go to, I think, the very top, if I'm not mistaken, Larry, they have very appealing staking rewards that is very significant compared to other platforms. If you could go, I think it's to the very top, if I'm not mistaken. Um,
This is the top here.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Anyway,
There it is, staking. 100
um,
more.
I guess I just missed it. All right. So anyway, yeah, if you go to staking or stake, there it is, staking, and then this is going to come up, and I believe it's way up there, man. Like for instance, go down for a second. I think if you click on, yeah, there it is. Stake B rise to earn BUSD rewards up to 80% APY. That's pretty darn impressive to say the least. Um, and then again, it's just like, I was watching a trailer slash introductory video about it. It literally shows a team who's analyzing these token and coin projects, but it's like it kind of reminds you of the concept of Certic, but like their own version of it to try to I guess you could say from a retail investor point of view, being able to invest in their project of everything they got going on, right, with the staking and so on. But it's transparent in regards that it's not just focused on the retail investor point of view of, hey, let's invest in our token, but it's very appealing to new developers who just simply want to get on a platform in which they can have a proper audit that's done. Those are the two things that stood out for me. I realize there's probably many other things that I need to look into. And of course, I didn't want to put like a big focus on just this because, again, I need to learn a little bit more. But that was the main gist of the two main things that I was able to gather from it. I do think it's pretty impressive in that regard. The only questions I had and concerns, and maybe common sense can, you know, uh, shed some light on this because I realize at the end of the day, um, you know, what we can view on. I'm obviously not Etherscan because this is a BUSD. I'm sorry, a BNB Binance Smart Chain token.
Yeah.
We'll have to view it on whatever scan that is. But on Etherscan, I'm sorry, not Etherscan. If we go to Token Sniffer, I think I gave you the link to that. Here's the
Yeah, I was
things
just gonna
that are,
before I got
yeah.
that right here. Before I go into that, I'll just say real quick in case anyone's wondering if they can't see it. The 30-day stake is about 6%. It says here 60 days, 13, 90, 20%. And it looks like Common Sense is doing it for 180 days. He's getting 45% right now, in case people were wondering at home. But
So I
yeah, I've got,
imagine that the 80% must be due to compounding because that would kind of make sense because it's like, yeah, these days that are mentioned, right? And then you also get to equate, compounding. I think that's where they get the 80%. Maybe Common Sense could comment on that in a bit. But nonetheless, I did see here, the token sniffer score and so on. And I get it. Token sniffer is not the end all be all. But there was a couple things that, you know, caught my attention. I don't think the buy fee and sell fee is the end of the world being at 12%. I get it. At the end of the day, token and coin projects are going to make it a little bit higher than 10% to do what? Discourage selling. But for instance, it's like, well, if you're discouraging selling, why not have that buy fee at least less than 10%? I don't know the reason behind that. I have to look more into that. But these are the three main red flags if you go up higher, Larry, that definitely are concerning to me. This is, of course, not me bashing the project in any way, because I mean, why would I want to bash some project that I need to do more research about? So, for instance, source does not contain a fee modifier. The source code contains a function in which can modify the transaction fee. Well, this could actually be good if somebody like from their team saw that we were talking about this and so on. They're like, oh, hey, these guys don't like the idea that the buy fee is more than 10%. Well, if they can go in and change it and lower it, then that's actually a good thing. However, it's a bad thing if there's people part of that dev team who can do what? Change it so it literally the sell fee could be like 90% instead of just 12%. Hence, like like a scam, like what was it? The one I covered a while back, Ninja Floki. They did that. They changed it from a sell fee of like 10% or under, and then literally you go to a month later, it's 90%. It's just insane. So those are things that are alarming. I'm not saying that's what they're doing. I'm not saying that at all. At the end of the day, this could be either a low to medium risk token project to get into. But another couple things I want to show real quick while Larry has it up, and that's in the middle. Source does not contain blacklist capability. It says it doesn't contain a function in which the blacklist holders. There's no source code in regards to that. More of a honeypot risk. Again, back to what I was saying previously in regards to somebody from the dev team could go in there and manipulate the contract in which we go to sell, and there's times we can't sell. What's a perfect example of that? Currently, like on my Coinbase wallet, I'm not going to mention the projects, but for instance, if I go to sell a couple of these ones that I'm highly invested into, um, for instance, Shiba Doge, I can go to it, right? And I can sell that as we speak. All I have to do is click on the function in my wallet, on my Coinbase wallet, that says what? Convert token. There's 2 of them in my wallet as we speak. I can't do that. So therefore, those are technically honeypots if I can't convert it. So if you can't convert this, it's the same kind of concept. And then last but not least, on that one, where it says the ownership, renounce, or source does not contain an owner contract. We talked about some of this stuff before, but the main thing, of course, was the modifying the contract behavior, disabling selling fees, changing fees, and minting new tokens. So, again, we all hear about the things like token burns. Well, token burns make a lot of sense, right? Because we want to create scarcity. We want to see more of the staking. You put things into staking that does what? Takes things out of circulation, creates more scarcity. But if the owner contract states that the developers are able to mint new tokens, then you're shooting yourself in the foot, because now you're not diminishing the supply by adding a lot more. You know what I mean? It's just like, what's going on here? So I'm not saying any of this stuff necessarily is this is a bad project to get into or anything. Those are just the main concerns that I want to see addressed in regards to all. Maybe somebody from the community can go to BRise and maybe update this, because that's how things like this get reported on Token Sniffer. Is basically members of the community. They go there, they're official members of either the community of, for instance, BRise, and then they also have registered account with what? Token Sniffer, and then they verify the 2 things. So it could be that this is not completely updated, and if that's the case, we'll definitely take another look into it. But those are my 2 main concerns. Common sense, obviously is into BRise and he thinks it's a good project and so on. I might very well get into it, because there is some really nice incentives. For one, the tokens being able to put on that platform and earn that compounded interest seems very appealing. And then number 2, just from the utility perspective, we're always talking about, like, don't get into projects that have 0 utility. Obviously the utility is there. The whole concept of like creating like their own version, if you will, of like a CertiK, but tokenizing that, right? So that's what stood out to me. At the end of the day, we were talking about MATs, mass adoption token, right? That's a topic that's going to be brought up more. I'll give you a chance, Larry. I'm sorry, I'm kind of taking this away. So MATs, mass adoption token, that's something that's going to be brought up just as much as NFTs. That slang, verbiage, where you want to call it, I'm telling you guys, you're going to hear more about it. But sometimes people don't bring that up. And at the end of the day, people just refer to it as the tokenization of a project. Great example, Audius. Audio is the ticker symbol. Being able to invest in like record labels and stuff like that, but tokenizing it. What stands out here with this, whether it's the other one, was it the restaurants, Devour, we just recently covered that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, what stands out here is what? Tokenizing of the concept of CertiK. That's what stands out here to me. And if I'm missing something, please, by all means, tell me. But I think that's really cool at the end of the day. It's again like CVC is kind of like tokenizing, CMC. This tokenizing, the concept of CertiK. So, again, for me, I need to do more research on my own, and who knows, maybe I'll personally get into it and so on. For you to make the statement, common sense, that you feel as though that maybe it could be like the next Cardano or Solana and so on, that's pretty bold. I mean, I'm not stating that it can't or anything like that, but that's a pretty impressive statement. That catches my attention, a lot of other people. So what do you think of that, Larry?
I mean, I just think that I think you did a great job breaking it down for sure. And I think that the audience agrees. Let's just real quick to summarize it. The things that just stand out to me that are concerning, and I do have a small bag of this. I don't have it staked, but that's something I'll have to look into, because I probably will stake it. Is the source does not contain a fee modifier, like you mentioned, because that always scares me because they can modify the fee to God knows what. There should be a way to figure out. We'd have to look more into it, and we're looking at some other tools that we can use besides token sniffers, just that we're not familiar with other ones. But I am looking into some other things that we can get into Max's hands to analyze stuff. But yeah, because they can put it up to what, like God knows what, right? And then the blacklist thing too. What if they blacklist, almost all the wallets except for a few that they don't want to? So those two things just stand out. The other thing that stands out to me, that's why I flipped over here, is that the chart looks really good. I'm not a
Chart
charter.
looks really healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It looks really, really good because you can see here it started down here, and now it just is through a long period of consolidation. What looks like to me,
Man, that's a
it-
super impressive chart. When you compare that to
yeah,
other charts, even the top 100, I'll hand it to them. That is a super impressive chart.
yeah, it kind of looks like Mononoke upside down, flipped over. But the other thing that's impressive to me is it looks like there's a lot of people that believe in this because their market cap is 364 million. So that's pretty high. That's nothing to sneeze at. It's having a good run today in the last 24 hours. It's up 27%. So I
It is up
really, really,
20%. I'm gonna cut you off just for a second. I'm
no,
sorry.
sure.
I want to touch bases real quick, and because I know that sometimes there's a lot of comments. Duhas says, "Is the liquidity lock?" We didn't have a chance to look at that real quick. If you could go back to Token Sniffer in regards to that, Larry, yes, the liquidity is locked. I'm glad you pointed that, Duhas, because at the end of the day, that is the most important thing. So yes, there's adequate current liquidity. There was adequate initial liquidity, and yes. At least 95% of the liquidity is burned/locked. It's 98.21%. It does show that it is locked in DX locked, which is a third party system that locks things. That, for instance, there's Unicrypt. There's all sorts of different ones out there. But yeah.
Just to interrupt you, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Max. Am I looking at this properly?
Oh my God, that's a long lock.
No, but is that all that's locked? Is this what we're looking for? Only $910?
No, 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 no. So,
No,
for instance, there's
no.
adequate. So, when a project starts, and it's okay if you don't know this. Hey guys, at the end of the day, we're all learning stuff, right? I'm not saying that like I know everything. Obviously, Larry doesn't know everything, right? He knows things I don't know, and vice versa, right? So, when a project starts off, they have to start off with what? Initial liquidity, and they have to show they have adequate liquidity, especially upon launch. Because if you have a low token market cap project, right? And somebody does take out all their position, right? So, for instance, there's a project. Let's say it's only worth. I'm just gonna throw out a number: 100,000 in market cap. Okay, but there's a whale that came in, and that guy owns 99,000 of that because the contract wasn't set up in which there's a limit, right? For some of us, we already know all this stuff. For other people, we don't. So, I'm just gonna touch basis on that. So, for instance, Larry, they have to show that there is at least adequate liquidity, because if you have so many people buying into this and there isn't initial adequate liquidity, then there's huge risks that are involved in
Yeah,
regards to that.
the only thing I'm trying to do is I'm coming over to DX locked. I think that's where they locked it. And I'm putting in a contract and it's not pulling up. So maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'm just trying to see if I can find out how much is locked.
No,
That's what I'm thinking
it's all
about.
right. I mean, at the end of the day, this is something that like offline, because this is time consuming. Let's face it.
Yeah.
That we'll have to take a more of a further look into in regards to all that.
Yeah, because
Um,
I'm curious because I just want to know the amount. I understand that this is nice, that they have this. I'm just
oh yeah,
wondering.
that's super impressive. The year 2100. I mean, heck, I won't even be around then. So.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what the dollar amount is. That's all. How much is actually locked. But this is other thing to look at is these are similar contracts right here. It's just interesting some of the names here. Like
There's a few
Elon.
comments actually. Usually on token projects like this, on Token Sniffer, if you go down, nobody comments. So there is some comments. I mean, again, we realize that some of these people could be bots and just saying
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, but for instance, that's the way I would look at it. If you are going to be a person who's like, you know what, I'm on the fence of getting into this, but this is alarming to me in regards to the score not being like at least 80 to 100 or 90 out of 100. Here is how I would personally go about it. Again, not financial advice or anything like that, but here's the thing. Don't go in with the attitude that you have to put like $1,000 or more into this. You could literally throw, I don't know, 50 or 100, and basically treat it as that. Like, I do this once in a while personally. Again, I actually did this on Ninja Floki, which ended up being a scam. I did 2 videos on it, and I actually came on top. I actually profited. I don't know, it was like $200, $300 on a freaking scam. But the point was, I just put a little bit towards it to test things out. And what I
Yeah.
mean by that is, you just put a little bit towards the project. You get what you get in your wallet, and then you go to do what? If it's Coinbase wallet, for instance, you click on the convert tokens to whatever. You just want to test to see if it's even a honeypot and stuff like that. Because it's one thing that we see this here, right? And there's one thing to actually test it out. So if that's where you're at, you're like, well, you know, I need to test this out first. By all means, test it out first. And then if you're convinced, you're like, nah, man, this sounds great. These guys in the comments, they're posting the truth. Then go from there and then decide if you want to increase your position. And I would actually say I would do that for just about any project that you're kind of iffy on anyway, because me and Larry, we don't want to see you guys lose any money. Heck, we don't want to lose any money ourselves. And unfortunately, that's the way you're gonna have to treat things, especially on these ones that are ranked like over 1,000 or 2,000. They're not part of the top 500. I mean, you gotta be more careful.
I don't know why it's not showing. Yeah, I'll have to work on this offline. There were a few negative comments in here. You guys can go through them and read them. So yeah, I mean, it does definitely have some red flags. So I'm a little bit kind of on the fence by it. I guess I just have to look at it more offline. But yeah, this is it's one to look at. The staking rewards are good. And then
Bacon
John,
rewards are great. That's one of the biggest incentives. Yeah.
yeah, John Valenzuela, welcome here. He says Cora Maru. I'm not sure if that's a project or not. Let us know in the comments here. Duhas says, welcome, Duhas, by the way. He says, anything is possible. Is the liquidity lock? We looked at that. I liked what this comment was. I don't know if you saw this, Max. Solana is the sun. It's only up half the time.
Right.
Selmo Fudd says, what are your thoughts on our present overall economic status as a whole globally? I think
How about you answer that, and I'll answer that as well, just real quick. Why
it's
not?
terrible. I could say it with
It's
one
terrible.
word. Yeah, there's a lot of macro things going on. We talked about it offline. There's the war. We've got inflation. When I go to fill up my truck, it costs me $5.49 a gallon because it's a diesel. I'm thinking I had 2 trucks. I just sold off one of the I had a Ram and I've got an F-250. I sold off the Ram and I'm just trying to, scale down my life. For those of you who don't know me, I'm pretty frugal and I'm just trying to scale things down now that I'm, doing this pretty much full time, crypto and YouTube. I don't have a need for 2 big trucks anymore, but I'm starting to think maybe I should just switch to gas powered, or I'm not going to go into electric, but so there's that. If I go to the grocery store, it seems like it costs me double for some things to buy stuff. So these are like real world problems. It's not just reading news articles or watching the news. These things are impacting everyday folks. And then, the overall crypto market with the regulation coming, if you want to throw that into a macro thing, there's just so many things. What am I forgetting, Max? I'm forgetting some things from a macro standpoint, economically wise.
No, that's okay. I thought you were right to the point. I mean, yeah, that's the way a lot of people look at it. The way I personally look at it is, from a global perspective, there's so many things going on that are affecting everything. I mean, right here in the U.S. alone, I mean, just everything in regards to crypto regulation. I'm just going to say some of it is good, a lot of it is bad. Uh, I'll just touch bases on this real quick. For instance, you guys heard me talk about Bitmart. Yeah, some of us don't like Bitmart because they got hacked and so on. But come on, guys, let's be real. Crypto.com's been hacked. KuCoin's been hacked. Anything in which, like, for instance, was it Richard Hart stated that provides lending has been hacked. That's something to think about. So my point is this, um, yeah, crypto regulation. So it's like, I go on Bitmart and I'm like, man, there's some really nice promotions. Like Foxman, I don't even know if he's on this, watch the stream right now, but shout out to him. He's a big Algorand fan, right? He's part of the Algorand army. Heck, right now, there's a great promotion on Bitmart, 100% APR for staking your Algorand. Are you kidding me? Algorand's like what is it, like in the top 20, maybe top 50, something like that. And to be able to stake that for 100% APR, like,
Really?
wow,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, they had a promotion not that long ago for Dogecoin, 100%.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? If they finally get this thing done with Robinhood with the wallets, right? I would totally send my darn Robinhood Dogecoin to Bitcoin, or Bitmart, and take advantage of the promotion. That promotion sold out within like 5 days. They
I
had
don't
one for
remember what,
yeah,
I'm
one for Shiba Inu over
you,
100%.
you know that I'm disorganized. I have Algorand. I thought I had it staked on Coin. I have a small Coinbase account, but I could be wrong. But I don't get
But
anywhere near that. But anyway, I just want to recognize
yeah,
and welcome those that have just joined us. Chris G is in the house. He says, good advice. I'm still learning from my mistakes today. I just put $400 into Volt Nobi, and then it dipped lower when I should just throw in $100 to $200. Lesson learned. I just hate to be a downer on all these meme tokens. I know that, these are all degen plays, but, when you've got Volt and you're combining it with the name Shibnobi, you got Volt Nobi. So I just think, guys, just recognize these things are not going to be around a long time. If you can make your money, get in early and get out, not financial advice, get in, get out. I lost, a bunch of money on 7 E-News. We talked about it last night. And I'm having nightmares. I'm surprised my dog Patches hasn't jumped up when I said Inu, because he's trying to learn Japanese, or at least he learned the word Inu means dog. That's about it. But Konnichiwa, Patches. Yeah, he's just taking a nap. So he's going to come back Sunday. I'm trying to negotiate with my dog to come more on camera. And I guess Patches is just coming on Sunday. So anyway, back to the show. Max is back.
you got to teach Patches. You got to teach him the good morning, which is Ohayo gozaimasu.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to teach him to rake the leaves on the lawn, but he doesn't have any thumbs, so he can't do that. So, he's got limitations. But the problem is, guys, I'm just, I'm kind of like getting turned off by a lot of these e-news and, combinations of different tokens. But, there is just if you guys are playing with, fire, you got to be careful. Make sure you protect yourself, because, I don't want to see anybody get hurt by this stuff. They're short-term plays. You really have to be careful of what you're doing. Don't expect, these things to be around for 5 and 10 years. Like I said, it's Shiba Inu, Saitama, possibly Shibnobi. These are the things that might make it in terms of meme tokens. Common Sense says, honestly, evolution and B rise. Thank you, Maximus and Larry. Appreciate that. So we appreciate you bringing it to us. Hey, go out there and shake the tree or whatever you got to do. Use the bullhorn. Go into these Telegram groups, because I get frustrated when I go in because I don't really get anywhere. But if you guys want to hang out in there and just tell them to come on the show so we can ask them the tough questions in a respectful way and get some answers. So Selmo Fudd says $80 gas for my Cadillac fill up just today. My day gas was 52 cents. Yeah, 52 cents in the 70s for sure. Trap Gravity, appreciate you, says Algorand is China. Same here. The Trap says, if you don't know how to spell it, don't buy it. Okay. Jerry Tapia.
That's my other best friend.
I almost
like 2 or 3 best friends, right? Like a handful of friends, and that's one of them right there. Jerry. Jerry, shout out to you, man. He tried to actually, I think, text or call me during the live stream yesterday.
You're going to laugh when I say the last name, because I guess I'm hungry in this stream. I get hungry a lot. So I almost called him Tilapia. Jerry Tilapia. You have to that's your new nickname.
He's probably like screw you, Magoo. But anyway, no, my dad actually says that sometimes. He's like, so did you speak to the fish? And I'm like,
really?
Okay. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, Dad. Yeah, you're talking about Jerry. So
okay. So Trap Gravity says Twitter Spaces is the best. Oh, for which token are you talking about? Maybe he's talking about Hex. Okay, so Hex explained the ERC20 token for token pulse chain. Yeah, they have some kind of copy. Everything is a copy when you're dealing with Hex, from what I understand. I'm still trying to understand Hex. It is very overwhelming. That's why we're going to have them come back. I think maybe we'll have them come back Thursday. So Duhas is laughing at us. I guess he's laughing at the tilapia thing. And then Trap Gravity says, what's up, Jerry? Oh, maybe. Oh, well,
speaking of the fish thing, so for instance, Mike Wool, who comes on here, He actually has like one of his businesses is like farming of fish and it's tilapia. Like
Oh,
he
cool.
has like he probably has like 500,000 tilapia, if not more. It's crazy. It's
Oh,
like
wow.
yeah, he has a lot of tilapia. So it's funny you mentioned that. Just real quick, the point I want to make earlier in regards to the whole thing with Bitmark and everything crypto regulation, and I'll just end it with this: is it sucks with the crypto regulation because on things like Bitmart, and then I also found out last night when I went on OKX exchange, if you live in the United States, you cannot take advantage of those amazing promotions. You just can't. Like for instance, Zilliqa, right? I'm always covering Zilliqa. They have 38% APY on Zilliqa, but since I live in the United States, I can't take advantage of that because of crypto regulation. It just absolutely sucks. And get this, Zilliqa had this thing in which you could do 120% APY flash sale, and I guess that was back in April, and that was only for like I don't know, like a month. I'm telling you, man, they're like even with the market down, the European markets and the Asian markets, people just live outside the United States because there's not as much crypto regulation in these other countries. It's like they're making money immediately based on the staking rewards on these promotions, and it's just that's what I hate. It's
Well,
like ugh.
well, Patches just commented. He wanted me to tell you. He just said 3 letters. I guess he's learning how to speak English too. He just said VPN. That's what he just said. Patches just wants to let you know VPN.
I understand VPN. I'm not a noob when it comes to IT. However,
Well,
tell
Patches is.
Patches, I also said fake ID apparently with some other country, and then they
Oh,
want you to take a selfie.
oh.
Yeah, for extra verification. Patches.
There you go, Patches. You got to get with the program. He just wants to sleep today. He's not. He don't want to be on camera. He doesn't have his. I don't know what it is. He's on strike or something. He's coming on
Yes,
Sunday.
I'm totally aware there's ways around it, VPN, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, it's just like, my thing is if you have family that lives in other countries, that's your best bet. You work out a deal with a family member that lives like, like for me, Philippines, like Jerry Tapia, Mexico, stuff like that. You work out a deal with them. You make that work. You take advantage of those promotions. This sucks. It just sucks that we had to do that.
I agree with what Trap Gravity saying. Twitter Spaces. It's funny. I think I've only listened to a couple Twitter Spaces. I got a short attention span, but that's just my brain. But Trap Gravity is right. I've heard great things about Twitter Spaces. I've also heard some ugly things. There's a lot of
Right.
fighting going on there. Twitter Spaces are the best place to ask questions for new projects. Many bright minds with great questions. If your project survives a space, you might have a good project. That's true. But I'm also a little bit greedy. I'm greedy for this channel. Like every day, my life's purpose, not this channel, my life's purpose is to build up this stream, to build up this show, the Max and Larry show. So I just think of ways that I can do that. The only way that I think I can is to bring some awesome guests on here. So I want some awesome subscribers. I want some really cool devs to come on here and some really passionate members of communities for these different tokens and coins. So that's what I keep thinking. I got to be greedy and not go to Twitter Spaces. I have to have them come here to talk to Max and me and then everybody out there. So Duha says, be careful on Bitmark, though. They've been hacked a few times, but,
I mean, that
everybody
is,
gets hacked.
yeah, exactly. I mean, shoot, crypto.com, like, what was it like in January?
Yeah.
Mid-January, they had a hack.
Yep.
There's some other ones that they're big centralized exchanges have been hacked. So I mean, it's not like certain ones are immune to others. But I get the point that you're making. At the end of the day, a lot of these exchanges have what insurance. Like I think it was it a Voyager? It was or crypto.com, something like 450 million in insurance. So I mean, you look at the FDIC, they only insure up to 250,000 on checking and savings accounts. But some people look like, well, that's low risk. Well, risk to reward ratio. I mean, why are you into crypto to begin with? You're mainly into it for what? Those gains and so on. It's a lot more appealing compared to a bank.
I like what Common Sense just said here. He said, I need Hex explained to me like I own a Jitterbug. I got I should have a Jitterbugs phone because I'm like not tech savvy, but I don't know what this last year or something. I got this S21, I think Ultra or whatever. I don't even know, but it's got this really nice camera on it because I like to take pictures. and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I need the Jitterbugs phone explanation too. So Trap Gravity says the more info available on a project, the better. Absolutely. And, you know, you don't want to just go on to, you know, hear the cheerleaders. The cheerleaders are the ones, you know, the hype guys and girls and stuff like that. You know, the cheerleaders, they're cheerleading for you when you're down 28-0. The only one that's left cheering for you, half the crowd is left. It's the fourth quarter. You know, what football team do you not like, Max? Like, who do you really
Oh
like
man,
out
I
there?
mean, I'm not really into football, and my friend, Jerry Tapia, who's here, he's a hardcore Arizona Cardinals fan. So I mean, I guess you could say
Oh, okay.
I guess I'm a Cardinals fan, but it's like, I don't really have a team that like I'm against. Like I know some people who obviously. How about this, guys? Can we all agree on this? You hardcore football fans, um, you guys all hated the Patriots, unless you're a Patriots fan. You hated the Patriots,
Okay, so the
right?
Patriots. So when the
Yeah.
Patriots are in the fourth quarter and they're down 28-0, and there's only 2 minutes left, and there's no chance, it's mathematically impossible. The only ones that are cheering for them are the diehard fans that, most of them have just shuffled out of the stadium, but the diehard fans and the cheerleaders. I mean, if maybe the cheerleaders are tired and they're sitting down, I don't even know. But that's all you have left. So you don't just want to listen to the cheerleaders. You want to hear like all sides of the story and see what's going on. So I think, Max, I think we're going to wrap it up. We've been going a long time. We've gone an hour and a half, and we didn't have a guest today. So it was mostly, the audience and us. Let's see what Trap Gravity says. He says, the beauty of what y'all are doing is giving people a visual representation. The Twitter space ain't for everyone. And then Common Sense, I grew up going to the St. Louis Cardinals football as a small kid. That's interesting. Okay.
Oh
So
wow, that's a
Cardinals
while
fan.
back, huh?
That's good.
I
All
remember
right.
when
So
they originally came to Arizona, and then it became the Phoenix Cardinals, and then the Arizona Cardinals. So yeah, there's a lot of history behind the Cardinals for sure.
thank you, Trap Gravity. I think this was a good show, and we appreciate you pointing that out. And we want to thank everybody that has joined us today, or tonight, I should say. We are going to go back again tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss it. We're going to go into some other tokens. I don't even know what we're going to go into, but Max has got to go back to his computer and figure out what we're going to pull out. And then don't forget that on Thursday, Cliff Fettner is going to be here. Maybe Teddy Ganja will be here. I don't know. And then maybe Keith from CBC will be here as well. And go out to your communities, guys. If you like a token and you really, you have a big bag of something, you want to hear more about it, you want us to take a look at it, go out there and bring somebody in to talk about it as well, like we did with Hex, somebody that knows the token that we're looking at. Could be a dev, could be someone that's, got a big bag of it. So we want to hear from that. We want to hear from that person. Max, I'll give you the last word.
Well, guys, thank you always for tuning into the show. We're still growing our community. We're still growing our audience and so on. Lara and I are getting together, basically trying to come up with the finalization of an actual commercial that we're going to be running. I'm actually really excited about it, the commercial and so on. So is Larry. Again, not to toot our own horn, but it's pretty impressive. It pops. It gets you excited. And it's to the point. I mean, at the end of the day, we do realize we're just like everybody else. You see an ad, you see a commercial, and if you're not into it, you think it looks boring, right? It's like, what are you gonna do? If it's too long, you're just gonna skip it anyway. It's too long. So we didn't want to make it too long. We feel as though it's going to be just the right amount, but it just gets right to the point. It lets people know there's this cool place you come hang out on a talk show where we talk about crypto. And we feel as though that there's not a lot of shows where it's two guys as a host and co-host to cover these type of things, especially the projects that fly under the radar that can be very good projects. At the end of the day, we always want to get involved in those type of things. We also want to let people know that our show is not just about focusing on crypto, but the entertainment side of it, making people laugh, having a good time, and just creating a great community where you feel as though, kind of like what Common Sense said to me on a DM the other day, and he says, "You know what, Max? I love you guys' show. I feel like I'm hanging out with friends, just talking about crypto and other topics." At the end of the day, if we got 1,000, 2,000 people like that who felt that way, then we're doing something good. So we're consistently moving forward. We see that we are. And so, again, it's all because of the community and, the new viewers, members, et cetera, et cetera. So, just because we don't have people on the show today, we understand that people still tune into the show, and we love that. So can't thank you guys enough. I'll pass it on over to Larry. Thanks, guys.
Well, I guess I'm just going to acknowledge a few people that came in here, and we'll say goodbye real fast. And, what Max was saying with the commercial and this and that, we're pushing through. And if it doesn't work out, we'll just start paying people to watch. We'll do something like crazy like that. But I just want to give a shout out to Crypto Keith, who came on last night. He's Mr. Hex. If anybody doesn't know, go ahead and follow Crypto Keith.
Yeah, I just saw Keith just connected. Hey, Keith.
Yeah. So shout out to him. He'll come back probably next week, maybe next Thursday. Also, I wanted to address a couple things here. So Roger, welcome. You're actually towards the end of our broadcast. We're saying goodbye to everybody, but I just wanted to tell you, he says, do you know anything about Shinobi Shinja? I'm hearing it's a good project. Okay. So Thursday, Cliff Fettner, he's the CEO. He's the main guy, the dev for Shinobi. He's coming here. He wants to come here and say hello to us, and we're going to ask him some questions. Maybe Teddy Ganja might come in, and then maybe Keith from CVC is going to join him because they've become good friends, him and Cliff. So make sure you tune in tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But also, if you want to see Cliff Fettner, he's the head of Shinobi, tune in 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Thursday as well. And then, Trap Gravity says Pulse. It's coming soon. Guys, we're going to say goodbye to everybody because we want to save some content for tomorrow. We've got some good things. There's going to be a big announcement tomorrow at the beginning of the show. I thank you guys so much. Be safe out there, and we will see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Take care.